What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video we are going to be doing a fish room update and a feed my fish kind of thing. So I'm going to get straight to picking up the camera, showing you guys around here, updating you with everything that's been going on down here, and feeding the fish, showing you guys what I give you guys to eat. So let's get to it. Okay, so in our usual fashion, we will start here on the breeding slash grow out slash quarantine rack. There's been a decent amount of breeding going on in the fish room, so we'll start here. The koi angels, or koi slash marbled angels, they spawned. And as you can see there are little wigglers there on the sponge filter. So these two are doing a pretty good job. Don't mind the reflections, but these guys are doing a pretty good job with protecting and raising these babies so far. They spawned, I believe it was like 3-4 days ago or something like that. This is their first successful spawn in a while. So I'm hoping that these babies do pretty good. For these guys, I just give them Vibra-Bites here. This is just a big old container of Vibra-Bites that I have. I got like a couple bags worth of it, so I just tossed it in here. I do overfeed just so that they can feel comfortable and feel like there's enough food in the tank so they don't eat the babies. That's pretty much it for these guys. I try to leave them alone. So let's get over to the discus tank here. As you can see, the female is doing fine, but this male, I have no clue what is going on with him. I don't know if maybe he's just stressed because the tank is so bare. I might just put a piece of driftwood in there with some plants glued onto it to see if maybe that makes him feel more comfortable. I do still have the back to side one that I need to treat with. I've just been giving these guys a break with the meds because I have been dosing meds for more than I would like. But the female, again, she's looking great. As you can see, the male is just in there spinning around and whatnot, so I don't know what's going on. These guys also get Vibra-Bites. I believe the male still eats. Like, yeah, you can see he's kind of he's pecking at it. I don't really know if he's grabbing. Yeah, he's grabbing food. He's eating, so I don't know what's going on, but these guys look great. At least the female does. At least this one's probably one of my nicest discus. And yeah, these guys get the Vibra-Bites as well. Don't mind the dirty tanks. So actually, my water change system broke. So let me actually go show you what's going on in the laundry room real quick where my water change system is set up. All right, so we're in the laundry room. Don't mind if you can hear any of the background noise of washing machine and dryer going off. But this is my water change system. I've got the water coming through these little spigots here into the thermostatic mixing valve, which then goes to this gallon calculator, gallon meter, or flow meter, which tells me how many gallons flow through it, through here, the stainless steel hose, into a sediment block filter and 2 carbon block filters, and then out of the blue hose and into my tanks. This silver hose here busted on me. The water is spewing out of down here. So I've got 3 replacements actually from 3 different companies coming in that I bought just to see which one works best. I'm obviously going to use one and keep the other 2 as backups just in case this happens again. But I got 2 more stainless steels and then 1 regular hose type like this here to see which one works better. So as of right now, water changes are kind of on a pause because, again, this is leaking. When I was doing a water change the other day, this thing just kind of spewed all over the place. I heard a hissing, came over here, and there was water all over the place. So that's kind of water changes are on pause temporarily until I can get, these hoses in, and they should be in tomorrow. So let's get back to the quarantine rack and continue the tour. We'll start here on the bottom right-hand side of the 10 gallons. And this one here is where I had the cauliflower swordtails. Unfortunately, I did lose the male and one of the females. So all I have left is this one really pretty female, but I don't think she's pregnant. Belly hasn't gotten any bigger than what it is. Honestly, I don't even know if it is a female. The little caudal, they're not caudal tail, the little kind of podium fin or whatever, I don't know if that's of a male or a female with this, this finnage type, but hoping to get some more soon. But she's the only one in here. She's doing great. She eats fine. Or it at this point, I don't know what it is, but I do just give a few of the little Vibra-Bites in there and she'll eat that up. That's pretty much it there. So in here, I've got, 6 or 7 silver tip tetras out of, I don't even remember how many I had in total when I first got them, but I have been losing them left and right. These guys do not seem to be doing very good in my water. I don't know if it's my water or just silvertip tetras in general aren't very hardy anymore or what it may be, but I think I'm done buying silvertips. I might try a different schooling fish and see what's going on there. I did toss in this little bundle of moss here to see if maybe they will spawn, because some of these females, like you can see, some of the females are pretty big and round, so I'm pretty sure they're ready to spawn. They're probably full of eggs. I also have a couple mystery snails in this tank. I got these guys from my buddy who dropped off the super red bristlenose pleco and the geos. They were in one of the bags. They were tiny little guys. These guys were probably like the size of, like, they were maybe like that big, and you can see they've grown pretty well, and they ate all of the hair algae that was in here actually on the wall. So pretty cool to have those guys in there and clean that up for me. Next tank over, we've got the Habrosis cories, or the salt and pepper cories. They are a dwarf cory species. I did lose one or two of them, I believe. I think I started off at like 16 or 17. I'm down to, I believe it's 15 now. I don't know what happened, just passed away, but the others are looking great. You can see they're swimming all over the place and they eat great. I give these guys vibra bites as well. Majority of the fish down here get the vibra bites. They really like this stuff. See there, these guys will just start going and foraging for it. Once these guys are done with their quarantine, probably within like the next 2 weeks or so, I'm gonna hopefully get them into a 20 long. That way I can, grow some of these smaller guys out a little bit and get them breeding. Alrighty, this tank here, there is a decent amount of movement. So at the one of my last month's fish meetings, the club meetings, I did bring home some more fish. In this tank, I had originally had you can see the babies, actually, the rainbow babies from a parva rainbow in the tank right over to the left here. Got a bunch of the babies still. They're growing pretty nice. They're getting pretty big. Once they get a little, bigger, I'll be giving a bunch to a buddy of mine. But I also picked up, in this tank, actually, I'm sorry, there were the flagtail pandas as well that I got at a previous meeting, probably like 2 months ago at this point now. So I actually picked up even more of them, another 6 of those flagtail pandas. So there are a total of 11 in here. That's one of them there. But there's also another cory species in here. I am horrible with the name of it. I don't know how to pronounce it. I will put it here on the screen. The spelling of the name, it starts with an L and it has a whole bunch of letters. I'm not too sure, but I've got 6 of those in here as well. Then I've also got, you can kind of see here, there's a little pleco in the media bag. I picked up 6 L519. I don't know if they're considered honeycomb or wobbin mustard, but they're the L519s that have the honeycomb pattern. So I'm going to call them honeycombs. I don't know. But yeah, I got 6 of those in here as well. So they've been in this tank probably for like 2 weeks, I believe it is now. A week, 2 weeks. After maybe another 2 weeks, I will be separating the 2 species of cories, the flagtail pandas and that other cory with the L name. I'll again put it on the screen. And then the wobbin mustards will be going into a tank as well, probably with one of these types, one of the cories. I'm not too sure which, but they'll be going in there. And then that'll leave this tank for these baby rainbows. So hopefully continue growing out. That way I can add some to the school that I have, or the group that I have already, and give a good handful of them, probably like 6 to 10 of them, to my buddy. So let's hop over to the 40-gallon rack. Okay, I got the phone on the tripod now. So this bottom 40 is home to the parents of the babies, the parva rainbows that you can see right here. There's 7 of them, 5 males, 2 females. There's also a pretty decent group of the black Schultz cories, or the black Venezuelan cories, or I don't know which ones they are, but they're the black cories. There's probably 12 to 16 of them in there. And there's also my group of L236 super white / super yellows. There's probably 20 of those guys in there. Those are pretty much the only fish in this tank. These guys also get vibra bites. The rainbows love this stuff. I toss a little pinch in there and they will go buck wild for it. And let me actually throw a bigger pinch. That way the cories can get some, as well as the 236s. So these guys like to eat this. And I didn't mention, but the baby rainbows that are in the 10-gallon below here, they also get vibrobites. I just crush it up very finely in my fingers. That way it turns almost into a powder. There should, you know, they pick it up off the top. So that's that. And that's this tank here. So let's hop up one tank. This tank here is my raw Ultimum Angel tank. These are the remaining 6 that I have from the original 8 that I bought. Along with, there is that little apistogramma there, all the Nanostoma, Senepa Super Red pencilfish, my group of gold laser cories, and my small group of CW023 cories, and as well as 5 or 6 L397 plecos. So nothing new really in this tank. I've just been trying to grow out these baby angels to throw into the 180. Some of these guys are getting relatively large. Like you can see this guy right here. He's easily tripled in size since I've got him. Some of these other guys are still on the smaller side, but they are looking good. The angels, the ultims, they love vibrobites. You see they go absolutely nuts for it. So I give them a good little size pinch as well, a few of them. That way, again, the cories at the bottom can get some, because I do have, I believe it's like 30 gold laser cories in there. So got to make sure I feed them nice so that they can get nice and fat for me and start breeding hopefully soon. Alrighty, this tank here is clearly my fancy goldfish tank. Still nothing has changed with this tank. It is still black sand and my goldfish. That's it, 5 fancy goldfish. I don't really know what I want to do with this tank, but these guys get the omega-1, not catfish pellets. What the hell am I doing? This is what they get, the omega-1 goldfish pellets, as well as a mix of a bunch of other things. I do feed a variety of foods here down in the fish room. I've got plenty to go around, so these guys will get these pellets today. And then there's 1 or 2 neorite snails in there, as well as a massive ram's horn snail. They will just pick off whatever's left over. So let's move down one tank. This tank here is one of the newer setups that you guys saw in my last video. This is the breeding tank for the pair of albino Geophagus hecki that I got, along with the albino redhead tapos that are in the upper tank. So there is some unfortunate news with both tanks. This tank, so both tanks did come down with ick. The first tank was the redhead tapos. Sorry, I just sat my big old butt down. But yeah, the first tank was the redhead tapos. They got ick. I did lose one of the albino females that I got, so now it's just 2 of them up there. But I did treat that tank, raise the temp and all that, so they're good. But then on the last day of treatment for the redhead tapos, I noticed then the hecki popped up with ick. So I don't know what happened. I do not mix nets. I don't do anything like that with my tanks. And these are the only 2 tanks that have anything, like any disease. They were the only 2 tanks that popped up with ick. So I don't know what happened. But these guys, the hecki, are now in treatment as well. I've been treating ick with salt and raise the temperature. No breeding in this tank yet, which is understandable because the fish are sick. But I did toss in this big clay tube. It's like a terracotta tube. It looks like maybe, I don't know what it was for. It looks like, like the Spanish style houses that have the clay roofs, something like that. And then a terracotta pot over in this corner. They do like it. And that's the male right here in the corner. And the female is actually hiding behind this terracotta pot. You can't see in the camera, but I can see her poking a little. You can actually, there, she just moved right back there. There she is, looking through the hole, just watching. Again, these guys are, actually today's their 3rd treatment that I should be doing. I actually have to do it today. So let's go ahead and treat these guys actually, so you guys can see what's going on. Again, I'm treating these guys with Ickex, or this, it's not necessarily Ickex, it is Aqualife's Pro Cure. It treats freshwater and saltwater parasites. I don't know what that were. Udinium, velvet, ick, and fungus. I looked at the ingredients at this and I compared it to the bottle of Ickex that I have, and it is the same exact ingredients. So this is essentially a different brand of Ickex, so works fine for me. I just use this pipette here and use this to dose the tank. What I do is I pour out a bunch of it into one of these little deli cups, and then I'll go ahead and dose this way. So this is a 50-gallon tank, so I need 5 little syringes of the meds. So we got
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
perfect. So now that that's treated, I will go ahead, take the rest of the meds that I had in this little deli container and just dump it right back into the bottle. That's good. And wash this out in the tank for the next use. And I forgot to mention, these guys get, they also get Vibrobites, or they also get the Omega-1 cichlid pellets super color. So I'm going to go ahead and toss some of these in there, see if these guys will want to eat. They might not want to, just because, again, I was just dosing some meds, but we'll see what they do with the food. Down here in this 40-gallon is where we have my albino cories, my bronze cories, my giant albino bristlenose pleco that I actually haven't seen in a little bit. He's hiding in this terracotta pot right there. And my trio of Botsmani rainbows, the male and 2 females. No breeding out of anything in this tank, neither any of the cories or the rainbows. Granted, I haven't really been trying, but I do need to get a lot of these floating plants that are up here. It's a lot of Anubias, Java fern, some boost and stuff like that. I want to glue those onto rocks. I know I mentioned it prior to, I just haven't gotten around to it, but that's pretty much it for this tank here. They get Vibrobites. I try to feed a bunch in here just because there's a lot of cories at the bottom. So I'll throw a decent glob in there, and the rainbows will start going at it. These female rainbows go absolutely mad. So does the male, honestly. Even though he's missing an eye, he still swims like nuts in there. And then the cories will peck stuff off the bottom. So let's move up to the next tank. Here we've got the redhead tapos. You can see that there's only one of the newer females that we got, or quote-unquote females, I don't know if they are, plus the original albino male. Like I had mentioned, the other female did pass away from the ick. I guess I just got it a little too late, or it was a heavy case of ick. I'm not 100% sure. But thankfully, these guys are free of ick now. I'm still not dosing ICX, but I am keeping the temperature at 86, 87-ish. And then when I do my water changes, I am still dosing with the salt. That way I really kill anything. I'll do that maybe for like another week or so, and then slowly bring the temp back down to probably 78, which is 76, 78 is, I feel like, a sweet spot for these guys. And then hopefully getting them breeding. Same thing with the hecki at the bottom. I want to get these guys going. I've never bred these bigger types of cichlids, so I'm super excited to actually give it a try because it seems like it would be fun. These guys are also going to be getting the cichlid pellets. You can see they are little ravenous dudes. They come to the top of the tank and ask for food. It's pretty cool watching these guys sift and move things around, or move the sand around and stuff. You can see they've got this piece of slee here absolutely covered in sand, so I'm going to let them do their thing in here, and hopefully they get to breeding soon. So let's hop over into the 20-gallon rack. Starting here on this top 20-gallon, there's been some breeding going on, and just literally half of these 20 gallons have had breeding going on. So this is where I have the 3 grow out baby rainbows that I've had for months and months now. They're getting pretty big now. They're probably close to an inch. These, I believe, are the Botsmani babies. But there's also my pair of super white bristlenose plecos. And let me pick up my tripod here. But you can see in this little breeder box, I've got 2 spawns out of these guys. So these are the bigger ones here. And then the little guys in the corner, they still have their yolk sac even. You can see, yeah, these guys spawned, I think it's like 3 weeks apart from each other, which was pretty close, but super cool for me, just because I get babies out of this. And the super whites, you know, they're still pretty hot commodity in the trades right now, or in the industry. So excited to get these guys going, share these guys, and, you know, just because have them become more readily available. These guys, so the entire tank itself gets a little bit of Vibrobites, just because the rainbows, again, there's only 3 of them, plus the bristlenose plecos, the parents down below. So I will really only feed a little bit of the Vibrobites, maybe that much, so the rainbows can get some. And the parents will normally get either the bristlenose plecos will get what's it called? Uh, I get the wafers from Ken's meat wafers, I believe it is called. They get that and French cut green beans. So you can kind of see in front of the cave here, there's some green beans that I fed yesterday, so I'm not going to be feeding them more. The baby plecos also, you can see there, they've got their green beans, so they're not getting fed anymore either. But let's hop over to the left and we'll work, kind of in a zigzag, and I'll show you what's going on in this left tank. This tank is my lemon blueey short fin bristlenose tank. I've got a pair in there as well, and they have been spawning as well. So I have one spawn from them that actually was maybe like 2 days apart from the first spawn of the snow white. So the babies are relatively similar in size. These guys haven't spawned a second time, but that's okay because I am out of breeder boxes. That's why I had to combine the two snow white spawns. Um, I've also got the 6 duplicarius cories that I put in there. They're still in there. They hide under all that moss that you see in that back left or the left side of the tank. Normally for this tank, I will just take some bites and sprinkle it in there, let it fall down to the bottom for the cories, and they will scavenge and find it when they feel like it. So let's get over to the next tank. Middle section here, the 20s, we've got my calico bristlenose pleco tank. In here, I believe it's a male short fin and a male long fin, and then one male or female short fin. So there's 3 of them in here, along with the 2 koi angel babies that I got from my very first spawn or first successful spawn from my pair that's over in the breeding tank on the other side. I am going to be keeping these guys, and I actually decided I'm going to put them into my 75-gallon along with the discus. I know they say don't mix discus and angels, but I have the space for it. I can give it a shot, see how it works out. And yeah, no eggs are really spawning from the plecos in this tank. I don't know what's going on, why they're not spawning, but nothing of these guys yet. I may need to get another female, so I might look for a long fin female. That way I have, a pair of each long and short fin, and then I can separate them and breed them that way. So that's it here. Actually, no, it's not. These guys also get vibra bites. A majority of the fish room gets vibra bites just because it is like a fan favorite out here. These 2 little angels will get a couple pellets, a couple little sticks of the vibra bites. They like this stuff. Next tank over, in here, I actually moved over the super red bristlenoses that I had. So I know my buddy John, he dropped off the male super red bristlenose that I had originally put in the 20-gallon that's over to the left here where the calicos were. I netted him out, put him in here along with the 2 longfin female super reds that I had. And then again, my buddy ended up dropping off a second male. So now I have 2 male short fins and 2 female long fins in here. There are 4Ks in there, plus this little cichlid rock on either side. So hopefully I get those guys spawning. I still have my cardinals in here. You can kind of see them in the back over there. They are going to be going into the 75 as well, along with the 2 angels. So I'll probably be tossing all of those guys in there at the same time. And then there is the cories in here. So there's still my group of, I believe it's 11 orange Venezuelan cories, the 2 pandas, and the 1 lone trilineatus. Let's move down to the last 2 20-gallon longs at the bottom. This tank here is my leopard frog grow out tank. You guys have seen it. Nothing really new in here. I still have the baby leopard frogs in there growing out. Some of them are probably close to 2 inches now, maybe a little bit bigger, as well as these little fancy guppy whatever. I've been trying to line breed. They not necessarily, but they look pretty cool. They're breeding relatively true. Some of them do have, wonky kind of tail, the split fins or whatever at the back. Some of them aren't split fins, so whenever I see that, I just take them out and call them. So like this guy right here, actually, his tail isn't what I am looking for, so I am going to be culling him. I want more of like this little guy here. You see he's got the split tail at the bottom instead. So that has the look I'm going for. Nothing really new here besides a bunch of guppy breeding and growing out my leopard frog. So let's get over to the last 20 long. And my last 20 long is the gold variety of those guppies that we just saw, along with my long fin lemon blue eye bristlenose plecos, the pair. As you can see here, I have a spawn from them as well. My bristlenoses have been doing pretty good. I've gotten 2 spawns out of the super whites, 1 spawn out of the short fin lemons, and 1 spawn out of the long fin lemons. Nothing out of the super reds, and nothing out of the calicos, which is okay. Because again, I only have 3 of these containers, so I need to order more. I've been honestly thinking about ordering some of the Lowell's Fish Lab fish trays to keep inside of the tank. But you know, they are a little bit pricey and funds are low right now. But I would love to get those eventually. You know, nice little upgrade here in the fish room. Maybe after I expand this 20-gallon, I can do that. So I have trays to put my baby fish in. Nothing really new in this tank either, besides, you know, spawn out of the long fins. They haven't spawned again yet that I can tell. You can see the male sitting around there, so he's clearly not guarding or fanning any eggs. But yeah, let's hop over to my 180 now. And we are at everybody's favorite tank, or at least my favorite tank. I hope it's everybody else's favorite tank, the 180 Ultimum Angel tank. Nothing has really changed in here either. Ultims are doing great. Bristilla Tetras are doing great. The one big old electric blue car that's right here, he's doing great. I've got some more coming very soon. A buddy of mine has got some breeding, like I've mentioned, so I'm going to be getting some of those. And I've kind of decided on another tetra that I want to put in here that I will bring up to you guys in a little bit. But let's feed these guys first. And I realized I didn't feed the 20 gallons down here, but I'll get to that, and don't worry. These guys also get vibrobites. These adult ultims love this stuff. I just tossed it in the back there, and you can see everybody goes mad for it. These ultims love vibrobites. It's probably because it looks most like worms. I do want to pick up more live blackworms and try getting a little breeding group of those so I can have consistent live food here in the fish room again. I feel like it would really benefit a lot of these, you know, bigger fish, the ultims, the wild ultims, the smaller ultims even that I have too, love the blackworms. And everything else really. I mean, what fish doesn't like live food, you know? As for the new tetras that I was talking about that I want to put in the sink, I'm contemplating putting a group of candy cane tetras in here. I feel like the little sheen of pink, or the little shades of pink, would look super, super good. Sorry, you can see my little rope fish there. That's my original one. But yeah, I think a group of maybe like 20 to 30 candy cane tetras would look really good in here. They would add that extra little like red slash pink to the tank. And I think it would just look super good. Super good. Wow, can't talk. As usual. Along with obviously the 6 more of the Ultimum Angels. And I think I had mentioned it prior to, but I think I'm going to put my group of gold lasers in here too. I might just keep maybe like 6 to 8 in a 20-gallon long for breeding, but a majority of the gold lasers will be going, or hopefully be going, into this tank. Let me just pick up the camera and show you guys why. So in the back over here, like right there, I get a little collection spot, and you can kind of see towards the back over, like over there. The mulm kind of just builds up over there, so I want the cories in here to just sift things around and kick things up and get it going into the sump. But this tank is doing phenomenal. The plants are doing good. I did unfortunately have a decent amount of melt back on the bulbitis that I put here. You can see right there, it's kind of, majority of it is melted off. Some is still alive. Most of it's still alive here. But other than that, the rest of the Anubias and the Java ferns that I put in here are doing great. The jungle val is doing awesome. Still spreading runners. You can kind of see some of the runners growing there in front of the overflow. And yeah, my 2 whiptails over here. You can see one right here and the other right there. They're doing great as well. I do want to pick up more of those guys. And I actually lied. I do have one more 20-gallon long to go over with you guys, and it is the ropefish quarantine 20-gallon long. It's on the floor, so let's head over there real quick, and I'll show you what's going on there. Here is the actual last 20 gallon, the 20-gallon quarantine for my rope fish. I know when I originally put out the video, I had 4 rope fish. Unfortunately, I did lose 2 of them. I lost the smallest one and then one of the, medium slash larger sized ones. I don't know what happened. They all of a sudden grew like this fungus on their outsides, on the outside of their body. I don't know. Do they have scales? I think they do. But they grew some fungus on them, passed away. I found them, stiff as the spaghetti noodle. So I am unfortunately down to 2 in here, but the last 2 are doing great. This little light clearly isn't doing a good job at growing the anacris that great, so it is melting back, which I don't care. I've got a bunch of it in other tanks that I can always just put more in here. But the 2 are right there in the little cave. They're doing great. They eat good. I feed them Vibrobites. I just fed them last night some Vibrobites, so I'm not going to feed these guys again. Maybe until later tonight. If not, maybe tomorrow. I don't feed them daily. These guys will be in quarantine for at least another 3 weeks or so. Once they pass their quarantine, I will be adding these to the 180 along with the solo guy that's in there. So I will have a group of 3. It's not the 5 that I wanted, but I am fine with having 3 in there. This is my last 20 long. Let's hop back over to the rest of the tanks and show you guys just everybody eating. Back to the breeding rack. There is the male discus again in that corner, just sulking. I don't know what the hell is going on with him. It's a little aggravating. I don't know if it's just stress or if he's got something going on. Again, I got to treat with the back to side. But as you can see, these guys ate all of the Vibrobites as well as the angels. Don't mind all the poop again. Water change system is messed up. But you can see here the wigglers are wiggling. There's a couple fungused over eggs that are there. I don't know why they moved those over, but there are, like you can see, little guy right over there in the front there. They're wiggling around. The angels are doing a good job at corralling them, kind of. I may toss some live plants like Anubias and Java Fern in here as well, just to make it feel more natural for them. But here down below, let me get quickly down here, but slowly, you can see the cories. You see the ones who have the spots on them right there that's kind of wiggling. He's dead center right now. Those are the new cories that are the cory L's, something or other. I don't know. Again, name is on the screen, but then there's the group of flagtail pandas and all the baby rainbows you can see just darted throughout. The habrosis are eating. Silver tips as well. There's the sword. Let's hop over here. See, these guys have pretty much eaten all of the Vibrobites. Same thing in here. See my gold lasers. Got a nice group of adult gold lasers in here, so I'm excited to get those guys into the 180. Here's that big ultimum. There's still the 6 in here. There's the blue tint on the hecki. Focus, there we go. You can see these guys are still working. The redhead tapos and my 20 racks. So you can see 3 of the 20 gallons have the breeder boxes on them. All full of bristlenose babies, different color types and stuff. And my favorite tank here. I could legit sit and watch this tank all day. This male electric blue car is huge. It's probably on the older side, which is why he's so big. And actually, this piece of driftwood, so I know when I set this tank up, the driftwood had shifted and floated up because it wasn't waterlogged. It has been waterlogging. It's, yeah, you can kind of see at the top here, that dark line across, that's where it used to be. And I pushed it down even further, and it is waterlogging some more. So I am getting it back into the original place that I wanted it to. I've got a little bit more to shift it. I might just shift it a little this way and then down more, but it is going good. And then that'll all be settled. Just like, the plants are growing in. There's still, what's it called? Some diatom algae on a lot of like the Anubias and stuff like that. So I do want to get some cleaners in here. I might get a group of like autosynclus catfish to toss in here and have them clean up all that diatom algae. I do have the albino bristlenose pleco And I believe it's a clown pleco in here. I barely see them, but they're in here and they do clean up some, but I need a bigger cleanup crew. There's my rope fish's tail right there. There it is, you can kind of see. But yeah, guys, this is my favorite tank in the fish room for sure. These ultims are just gorgeous. So yeah, guys, that's the fish room update. Obviously, you know, we've got some sick fish, some fish not doing great, some fish doing really good and breeding. So it's all just luck of the draw with the fish hobby. You know, things happen. Trying to keep everything as healthy as possible. Again, the red heckles are doing good, or the red head tapos are doing good. The heckeli I'm treating, so they should be back to tip-top shape in no time. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think of all of my fish down here, and stay tuned for future videos. See you in the next one.